Let me tell you something real. Pain is not here to break you. Pain is here to build you. I know it doesn't feel like that when you're in it. When you're tired, when you've given everything you have, and it still feels like it's not enough. When you're waking up every day carrying the same weight, the same pressure, the same struggle. But hear me clearly. Pain is not the end of you. It's the price of growth. Nothing grows without resistance. Nothing evolves without pressure. If you're hurting, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're stretching into something new. See, comfort never created greatness. Comfort keeps you the same. Comfort keeps you average. Comfort whispers, you're good right here. But pain demands change. Pain forces you to look at yourself and ask hard questions. Pain strips away excuses. Pain shows you who you really are when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching, when there's no guarantee it's going to work out. And that's where growth happens, right there in the uncomfortable, unseen, uncelebrated moments. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by going through it. Muscles don't grow without tearing. Minds don't sharpen without struggle. Character isn't built when life is easy. It's built when life hits you hard and you refuse to stay down. Every obstacle you're facing right now is shaping you. Every setback is teaching you something. Every tear, every sacrifice, every lonely night, it's all adding layers to you. You just can't see it yet. Some of you are frustrated because you thought pain meant you were on the wrong path. You thought if it hurt, it meant you should stop. But what if pain is actually confirmation that you're exactly where you need to be? What if the resistance you're feeling is proof that you're pushing past your old limits? Growth doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel good in the moment. Growth feels like struggle. Growth feels like doubt. Growth feels like wanting to quit and choosing not to. Listen, anybody can show up when it's easy. Anybody can smile when the results are coming fast. But the ones who change their lives are the ones who keep showing up when it's hard, when it's slow, when it hurts. Pain separates the serious from the casual. It exposes how bad you really want it. And if you're still standing in the middle of the pain, that tells me something about you. You're stronger than you think. You have to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this building in me? Because pain doesn't come to stay, it comes to teach. It teaches discipline, it teaches patience, it teaches resilience, it teaches hunger, and once you learn the lesson, the pain loses its power. But if you run from it, if you numb it, if you quit because of it, you miss the transformation on the other side. Right now, you're becoming someone who can handle more responsibility, more pressure, more success, more impact, but you don't get upgraded without being tested. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Steel isn't strong until it's been through fire, and you're no different. What you're enduring today is forging the strength you'll rely on tomorrow. So don't curse the pain, don't run from it, don't let it convince you that you're weak. Embrace it. Respect it, learn from it, because one day you're going to look back at this season and realize the pain didn't destroy you. It introduced you to your strength. And when it hurts, remember this pain is temporary, but what it builds in you will last forever. Let me be honest with you. Quitting does not end the pain. That's the lie people believe when things get heavy. They think if they stop, if they walk away, if they give up, the pain will disappear. No, it just changes its form. When you quit, the pain doesn't leave, it settles in, it becomes regret. It becomes self-doubt, it becomes that quiet voice that asks you years later, what if you had just kept going? And that kind of pain doesn't fade with time, it grows. See, pain has two paths. One path is temporary suffering that leads to strength, growth, and breakthrough. The other path is permanent disappointment that comes from knowing you didn't give everything you had. You get to choose which pain you're willing to live with. the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One sharpens you for a season, the other haunts you for a lifetime. When you're in the middle of the struggle, your mind starts negotiating. It tells you it's okay to stop. It tells you you've done enough. It tells you you can always start again later. But later is not guaranteed. Momentum is fragile. Once you stop pushing, restarting is harder than continuing. That's why persistence matters, not because it feels good, but because it protects you from becoming someone who almost made it. You don't push because it's easy. You push because stopping costs more. Every day you keep going, even when you're exhausted, even when progress feels invisible. You are reducing the power that pain has over you. Pain feeds on hesitation. Pain gets louder when you slow down, but when you move forward step by step, rep by rep, day by day, pain starts to lose control. Understand this. The struggle you're in right now has an expiration date, but quitting removes the deadline and makes the struggle part of your identity. You don't want to be known as the person who tried. You don't want to be known as the person with potential. You want to be the one who endured long enough to see the result. Persistence is what turns pain into a chapter instead of a life sentence. Some of you are tired not because you're weak, but because you've been strong for a long time, and in that tired place, quitting looks attractive. But hear me clearly, you are closer than you think. Breakthrough often shows up right after the moment you feel like you have nothing left. That's why quitting feels tempting at the edge, because the pressure increases right before the release. Every time you push through when you want to stop, you're building evidence that you can be trusted with more, evidence that you don't fold under pressure, evidence that when life gets uncomfortable, you don't run, you rise. That evidence compounds. One hard day turns into resilience. One hard season turns into confidence. And one hard journey turns into a story that inspires others. You may not see progress yet, but persistence is working behind the scenes. Roots grow before the tree is visible. Strength forms before results show up. Just because you don't see immediate rewards doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means something is being prepared. And if you quit too early, you walk away right before the return on your effort shows up. So when your body says stop, go one more step. When your mind says quit, remind it why you started. When the pain gets loud, let your purpose speak louder. Because the only way pain becomes permanent is if you decide to make it so. Keep pushing because this pain has an end, but quitting makes it forever. Let me shift your perspective for a moment, because what you're dealing with right now isn't random, and it's not wasted. The struggle you're in has purpose. The pressure you feel has meaning. You don't just wake up in a difficult season by accident. What you're facing is preparation. It's training for the next level you keep saying you want, and whether you realize it or not, life only tests the people it plans to promote. You asked for more growth, more success, more impact, more freedom, but more always comes with weight. More responsibility, more expectations, more pressure, and if you're not strong enough to carry it, it will crush you. So before you get elevated, you get tested. Before you get trusted with more, you have to prove you can handle what you already have. This season is proof that something greater is ahead, because easy seasons don't prepare you for heavy assignments. Right now, life is building your endurance. It's stretching your patience. It's forcing you to develop discipline when motivation disappears. And that's intentional. Anyone can stay consistent when they feel inspired. But the next level requires consistency when you don't feel like it, when no one is cheering, when progress is slow and doubt is loud. That's the version of you this struggle is shaping. You might be asking, why does it feel like everything is against me? Because resistance is part of preparation. You don't get strong without resistance. You don't develop focus without distractions. You don't build courage without fear. The obstacles aren't blocking your path. They are the path. They are refining your mindset, sharpening your skills, and toughening your spirit so you don't break when success shows up. Understand this: what you're learning now will protect you later. The discipline you're building now will keep you grounded later. The humility you're developing now will keep you hungry later. If you skip this process, you might get what you want, but you won't be able to keep it. That's why preparation often feels harder than the reward. It's designed to sustain you long after the excitement fades. There are lessons you only learn when things don't go your way. You learn how to adapt. You learn how to problem solve. You learn how to keep moving even when the plan changes. And those lessons become tools. Tools you'll need when the stakes are higher and the margin for error is smaller. This season is giving you tools you don't even know you'll need yet. You're also learning how to trust yourself. Every time you survive a hard day, every time you push through doubt, every time you refuse to quit, you're proving something to yourself. You're building inner confidence, not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that says, "I've been through worse and I'm still standing." That confidence becomes unshakable because it's earned, not borrowed. And let me say this clearly: you are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. You are in training. Stop comparing your behind, the scene's process, to someone else's highlight reel. You don't know what they had to endure to get where they are. And you don't know what this season is saving you from by slowing you down and strengthening you first. When you finally step into that next level, people will call it luck. They'll say it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. You'll know about the pressure, the patience, the pain that prepared you. You'll know this moment right now was necessary. So don't rush the process. Don't waste the lesson. Stay present, stay focused, and keep growing, because this struggle is getting you ready for everything you've been praying for. There comes a point in every struggle where the pain starts asking questions. It asks how bad you really want it. It asks how long you're willing to stand when everything in you wants to sit down. It asks whether you're going to let discomfort decide your future. And in that moment, you have a choice not to fight harder, not to do something dramatic, but simply to stay locked in. To stay when it would be easier to walk away. To focus when distraction feels like relief. To remain disciplined when motivation has completely left the room. Because here's the truth: pain doesn't defeat people. Loss of focus does. The moment you stop believing this is temporary, the moment you start letting the struggle define you, pain wins. That's why you have to protect your mindset more than your comfort. Your focus is your weapon. When you stay locked in, pain has an expiration date. When you drift, pain overstays its welcome. Staying locked in doesn't mean you don't feel tired. It doesn't mean you don't feel discouraged. It means you refuse to let those feelings make decisions for you. It means you keep your standards when no one is watching. It means you keep showing up even when the results aren't obvious yet. That's where most people lose it, not because they can't do the work, but because they stop believing the work is working. Pain wants you emotional. It wants you reactive. It wants you focused on how hard it feels instead of why you started. But discipline keeps you steady. Discipline keeps you moving when emotions fluctuate. And when you stay disciplined long enough, something powerful happens. Pain starts to weaken. Not because it disappears, but because you get stronger than it. There will be lonely days in this process. Days when nobody checks on you. Days when nobody understands why you're still pushing. Days when the silence is louder than the struggle. Those are the days that shape you the most. Because when you learn to stay focused without applause, You become unstoppable when the spotlight comes. You don't need to see the whole picture. You just need to stay committed to the next step. One more rep. One more page. One more hour. One more day. Progress doesn't always announce itself, but consistency always leaves evidence. And if you stay locked in long enough, the work will start speaking for you. The pain will try to convince you that this is who you are now, that this struggle is permanent, that this is as far as you go. Don't believe it. Pain lies. It magnifies the moment and hides the finish line. But if you keep moving, you'll reach a point where what once felt unbearable becomes proof of how far you've come. And understand this: pain doesn't break when you complain. It breaks when you persist. It breaks when you refuse to negotiate with excuses. It breaks when your effort outlasts your doubt. That's why you can't give it control. You have to stay locked in until the pain realizes it can't move you anymore. One day, you're going to wake up and realize the struggle doesn't have the same grip on you. The weight feels lighter. The resistance feels weaker. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you became solid. You became focused. You became disciplined. You became the kind of person pain can't intimidate. So don't quit early. Don't drift now. Don't lose focus in the middle of your breakthrough. Stay locked in until the pain breaks, not you. Keep pushing.